I was just posting some pictures on my Instagram because I wanted to back up this story that I was just about to tell you. I wanted to make sure that all the pictures were on my Instagram because this happened right before I went to bed last night. And I think it's so damn funny. And I like when I tell a story and I have like the visual proof to back up the story. And I know we got all kinds of like solar eclipse stuff to get to, but this just, to me, eclipsed that. So my wife had, while we were on the air, the eclipse thing was kind of happening, right? And so my kids didn't have to go to school yesterday until after the eclipse. So they had to be at school like at noonish or whatever. So my wife, the way she always does things, if there's a reason to have a party, so she had like all these kids over at the house and all these moms and all this stuff. And so there's a big party in my house while we were here. And while she was talking to one of these moms, this really nice mom, really cute mom, very attractive mom. Mom starts telling a story about they were on vacation a couple weeks ago, and they saw this like store that was selling these little garden gnomes. You ever seen those garden gnomes?
Sure.
They're really cute. I think, and for some reason, didn't Justin Timberlake make a movie where he was a garden gnome?
A troll.
A troll, okay.
Troll.
Yeah, but there was a garden gnome movie, and I think it was just called Gnomes.
Right.
Yeah.
So they saw this garden gnome, and this mom that was at my house with her kids goes and, let's go buy a garden gnome. So they bought a garden gnome, and they took it home, and they live right down the street from us. I mean, across about 4 or 5 blocks away. They put the garden gnome in front of their house, and the kids come out, and they put the garden gnome right in front. And then, and they take a picture of the garden gnome in front of their house, and they all love it. And then they go to school in the morning, and they all look at the garden gnome, and they go to school, and they go to bed at night. They wake up in the morning, and then there's another garden gnome. Now, somebody put another garden gnome in front of their house.
Weird.
That's weird. So, whatever. The day goes on. A couple days go by. They get up to go to school. There's another garden gnome. There's 3 garden gnomes in front of their house now.
Well, these garden gnomes like rabbits? So just like multiply?
They must. It's so weird. Then there was like a storm came by, knocked down the garden gnomes. And they were looking at the garden gnomes through the storm through the window. And they wake up in the morning and somebody put all the garden gnomes back and added another garden gnome.
This is getting bizarre.
4 garden gnomes now. They're like, this is so weird. So the whole family's all involved in the garden gnomes, and they're starting to tell the story of the garden gnomes at school. And then, by the way, these garden gnomes are up on my Instagram right now. So if you go to Johnjay Van Ness, you can see the garden gnomes, and you can see the progression of the garden gnomes as they grow. So a week or 2 goes by. There's now like 7 garden gnomes in front of the house.
What?
And the mom thinks this is amazing. And she puts a sign out front, hanging with the garden gnomes. Right?
She puts a sign up front.
It's a big sign. Everyone's all great. So then finally one of her friends comes over and says, what are you doing with these garden gnomes? She goes, isn't it amazing? She goes, garden gnomes are a sign that you're a swinger. This means you're a swinger. They're like, what? And they Google it. And sure enough, that's exactly what it means.
Shut up.
So I Googled it, I screen capped it, and when you swipe on there, it says it all. So like
signs of a swinger. Oh my God.
It's all over the place. So I don't know if they were like, if swingers were preparing to like all come around their house like zombies. Like, I don't know, like, it's not like she had a swingers party there or anything, but like, so swingers were like laying down the garden gnomes, getting ready to go. Let's go. Once there's 14 garden gnomes, we're tearing down we're coming, pounding down the door. So the mom freaked out, put all the garden gnomes in the backyard.
Isn't that awesome?
Are the garden gnomes are they people that's like, we hear you, we are swingers too?
Yes.
If you happen to see us putting a garden gnome in your yard, it's on.
It's on.
Like that?
Yeah, I think it's like if you're having a party, count on us showing up. That's what that is.
Wow.
I think for me, if it would have happened to me, I would have been like, that's it. These garden gnomes are going away. But instead, this woman put them in the backyard.
She really likes her garden gnomes.
She does. I would have been like, oh, okay, they're backdoor swingers. We're going that way.
That's a different sign.
Yeah. Well, you can see all the garden gnomes. You can see the way that first you see them. There's only 4. Oh my God, how cute. And now there's 7. And they're like, damn. She's like, take these down. We're swingers. And her husband's like, what? And my wife told me the story, and I'm like, I go, Blake, how do you know that they're not swingers then, for sure? But I think
nice angle.
And Blake goes, if they're swingers, then maybe that, she goes, I don't think they would have told me the story. I go, how do you know they're not trying to get you to swing?
Oh, yeah. Like, that's the open door. Like, depending on how Blake reacted to the story, like, what's wrong with being a swinger? Then they would know that was their cue to be like,
Right.
hey, you want
How
to
do you
hang
know?
out?
They're not like waiting for Blake to go, oh my God, we've got garden gnomes everywhere.
Isn't that weird? No, it's not weird. Oh, good. I didn't think it was weird either.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah. Here's a garden gnome. And I come out just like a garden gnome. Like, why not come out with something better, like sexier than a garden gnome?
Well, the other signs that you posted, like one are like pink flamingos
Yes.
in your yard, white
rocks.
white rocks
Oh,
around
white
your
rocks.
mailbox, and wearing a black ring on your right hand.
Wait, what? Wearing a black ring on your right hand. I've heard of the rocks and I've heard of the pink flamingos because apparently my old neighborhood had that kind of reputation, but I never saw any, and I go for walks in the neighborhood all the time.
Okay, wow.
So it had the reputation, but I did not see any pink flamingos.